my channel. I'm acrylic artist Joni Young, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to paint your very own tropical island. So stay tuned. I'm going to list all the colors and brushes below in the description box, and I'm going to show you step by step, walk you through exactly how to paint this from start to finish. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're painting on an 18 by 24 stretched canvas. I've primed it with acrylic gesso first. Once it dries, we're going to take phthalo blue, a little bit of water on our large blending brush, and start pulling it across the canvas at the top for the sky. We'll begin to add a little bit of white every time we go back for more paint, and we're going to start making the sky lighter and lighter as it goes down. Okay, now that our sky is finished, we can start coming in with our clouds. I'm using the same large blending brush. I'm going to tap in lightly with titanium white. The clouds are going to be larger at the top of the canvas, and they're going to gradually get smaller and smaller as they go down. So I'm tapping really lightly, and then I'm brushing really, really softly. And then I'll just keep on adding white to build it up. I'm painting wet on wet, so I'm getting those nice light blue shades first to make our clouds look really soft and kind of hazy-like. And I'll just kind of turn and wiggle my brush around, using the corner of it sometimes. And we'll go ahead and put one right up at the top there too. Add some more white to our brush. Now we are only using white right now, but as the sky dries, as these clouds begin to dry, I'm going to start taking just a little bit of the neon orange and mixing it with white. We just want to tint our clouds a little bit. It'll just make everything look prettier. Now I've made the sky just a little bit too light at the bottom, so I'm going to add some more phthalo blue and softly blend that around, pulling some right underneath those clouds, giving them a little bit more depth in the sky. Remember, you want to be working wet on wet. So I don't have any water on my brush. The paint is just wet enough that I can pull it and blend it. Now I can add some more clouds, and they'll really stand out. So just little ones for down here at the bottom. Like I said, it helps to make it look like they're farther away, and it gives you that perspective. And it also gives you that feeling that you're being pulled into the painting. And that's kind of nice. You really want to be drawn into a painting, especially a beautiful, tranquil scene like this one. So I'm tapping where I want it to be the brightest, and then I kind of just pick a little bit of that paint off the edge and blend it. More phthalo. I'm going to add some more depth up here at the top. That's quite a bit of paint on there. I'm going to be just dabbing some of that off in a little bit and blending it. So tapping first. And then I've got my little blending brush, my mop brush. It's dry, and I'm just going to do small little circles to help blend that in and soften all of that dark blue. Okay, back to our phthalo. I'm going to pull into it, creating a line on the end of my brush. And I'm carefully going to begin the horizon, pulling. Try to do this in one stroke. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, that's okay. There could be little islands or land back there. The clean brush, I'm going to take some of my turquoise now. And I'm going to cut right underneath, pulling in just a little bit into that blue. And we're going to start painting our Caribbean Sea now. Okay, let's pick up a little bit of the white now. We're going to start building up our beach, our little island here, white sandy island. Again, we're still working wet on wet, so we get a nice soft blending of that sand that goes right into that shallow water. And we'll add some more turquoise down here. Okay, so now I want to pick up some of my neon yellow and a little bit of titanium white. I've still got a little bit of that turquoise in my brush. And we just want to add a light yellowy green color right here by the shore. So just pull and blend softly until you get the look you desire. And then we'll build up the island or that beach a little bit more, but first we're going to take a long skinny liner brush, get it really wet, roll it, twist it around, and your white paint that might have a little bit of turquoise in there, that's okay as long as there's more white. And we want to just start adding our little reflections and ripples in the water. So it's a really calm setting, no waves really, so we just want to pull in little lines and keep it looking nice and calm and serene. It's all about tranquility. So you're going to need to be really patient when using a liner brush. If this is your first time using one, you'll have to go back quite often to get water, equal parts water and paint. We're going to add all those little lines and reflections right up to the sand. And then a little bit right back there, there's a little sandbar that juts out. Okay, we're going to take some of our neon orange and white. So you only need a little bit of that orange. It's very, very strong. You just want to tint your white and start tapping it carefully right where you want your clouds to be the brightest. Now, rarely do I ever paint clouds just white, and I've mentioned this before in my tutorials. It's a good idea to tint your clouds. You can use a little bit of turquoise, a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow or orange like I'm doing here. I love that really soft, warm, fuzzy peach color. It just has a really nice, almost a pinky glow, but not quite, and it's kind of like a coral color, which is really, really pretty with this turquoise water. I'm going to dust a little bit over on the sand too. Even though we're painting white sand, I want it to have a little bit of a glow to it like the clouds do. Okay, and now I want to pick up more turquoise and add a little bit more depth right here. The water's not going to be really deep, but we just need that beach to stand out a little bit more, so I'm going to add a few little dabs, pull softly and blend. So now that this beach has had time to dry, I'm going to start coming in with a thicker amount of white and a little bit of that peachy color again. So I'm not blending too much. I'm kind of just going to slap that paint on there and pull lightly, and then I'll start to add some more highlights to these clouds. Remember that acrylic paint always dries a bit darker, and even though I've got a primed canvas with gesso, the paint will still soak into the canvas somewhat, so it is important to check your highlights and go back after they dry and add another layer. So I'll do this carefully on each cloud using my smallest mop brush. Now I really like using these brushes to finish off clouds because they give them that soft fuzzy look. I'm going to make a light turquoisey color right here, create some more perspective. I'm just applying this right above the horizon, and I've taken turquoise, white, and just a little bit of phthalo blue. Time for some more little clouds that go way back there. Using my Filbert brush, it's got a smaller end on it, and I can create those sweepy looking clouds with that. Okay, I'm taking sap green right now, and I'm going to start coming in with some foliage, some shadow down here. There's a bunch of tropical, lush tropical vegetation down here, and then we're going to paint our palm trees. But first we need to do this. Have a nice dark contrast to work with. Helps to make everything stand out even more. Add a little scoop right there. This is where our group of palm trees are going to be growing out of. Now I think I want to add even a little bit more turquoise here. I need it to be just a little bit darker. So I'll quickly get this done. Just a little bit down here in the foreground. And I'm just using my Filbert. Okay, switching over to a mini fan brush, I'm going to scoop up quite a bit of neon yellow and titanium white. Get a good amount on the end of your brush, and then we're going to tap just above the green and over part of it. Now with just a little bit that's left over in my brush, I want to pull and blend out a soft glowing yellow right back here. I'll add some more turquoise in here. Okay, I'm not washing my brush. I'm going to pull in and load both sides with phthalo blue. And I'm just going to start to blend in into that turquoise back there, making it look like it's a bit deeper back there and it's farther away. Then I'm going to pick up that nice light color again for my clouds and add some more highlights. I'm going to build onto these clouds just a little bit. I want them to be just slightly bigger up here at the top. So it's just lots of dabs and wiggling. Okay, let's begin our palm trees. Taking a long skinny liner brush. We've got black with a little bit of sap green if you want. And we're gonna do maybe 3 to 5 palm trees. You don't have to paint as many as me. You can do as many or as few as you like. They're gonna get slightly wider down at the base. And I want you to make them all different lengths. You don't want them to all look the same. And it's nice to have them kind of leaning out towards the water. Some of them can be straight up and down. All this helps to add more interest to your painting. And then we'll just do a few little flicks here for some leaves or grass or plants down there. So once we get the tree trunks the size that we want, we're going to switch over to an angular brush for our palm leaves. Now I'm just laying out the shape of these palm leaves first. I'm not worried too much about detail at this point. And I'm using black. You can mix a little bit of the sap green in there too if you like. My sap green and black on my palette are really close, so I'm probably blending the two without even trying. And we're just going to do a few of these leaves. You want to overlap them. They can all go in different directions. They're going to be thicker and darker in the center of the palm tree at the top. Now I'm going to switch to a fan brush and just demonstrate how you can use a fan brush as well for creating palm leaves. So you have a few options when it comes to brushes. One is better than the other. It just all depends on what you feel comfortable using. Sometimes I like to switch from the Filbert to the fan brush. And sometimes I even like to use, well, the angular brush like I demonstrated earlier, and a liner brush for some of the finer details on the leaves, some of the highlights. I'm just going to keep adding palm leaves
highlights, we're going to mix sap green with neon yellow, and then we'll do some neon yellow and a little bit of titanium white to really make some bright highlights stand out. I'll also be adding some palm leaves and a palm tree off to the left side, on the far left side, and we'll begin working on those in just a few minutes. So another color that I'm going to be adding for a highlight will be a little bit of the neon orange and yellow and white together.
Okay, so now that I've got a good base color down for those palms, I'm going to begin working on the left side. I'm just adding a few leaves down here. There's just a little baby palm tree growing right down here. And I'm going to come in and start highlighting right away using neon yellow, a little bit of sap green, and a little bit of white. And we'll start working on this one that's much taller. And as you can see, this mini fan brush is working quite well. You might need to pick up a little bit of water sometimes just to help make that paint flow nicely and make your palm leaves look kind of wispy and have all those little spaces in between. And then we'll come in and add some neon yellow. Put a nice bright highlight on those. And we'll start building up the color and the highlights on these ones now. So what you don't want to do is add color to every single leaf. You want to leave a few of them just black, so you have a nice contrast and shadow and it looks like it's 3D. Okay, now I'm going to mix up some of the yellow, a little bit of green, a little bit of orange, and a little bit of white. We're just going to apply a little bit of this color. And I'll put a little bit of it down there at the base. I'm just going to go back and add some extra shadows and leaves in here with using black. And another tree. I did another tree trunk in there. I just decided I wanted to have one more palm tree right here. And it's easy to just overlap and layer in some more leaves. I'm now switching over to my long liner brush, just so I can pull in some nice fine lines and highlights. Using those same colors for the highlights, the yellow, white, maybe a little bit of peach and a little bit of sap green. Okay, I'm switching over to my mini fan brush, making more of that fuzzy peachy color using neon orange, titanium white. I'm just going to add a really small amount right on this foliage and just underneath those trees a little bit. Add a few more highlights to these trees and this painting will be all done. I want to thank you guys so much again for joining me today in my studio. I hope you guys really liked this one as much as I enjoyed painting it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already.